Hey, this is Mike Koenigs. Welcome to the 4 quadrants of AI. This is an opportunity to experience some brand new AI tools. So if you've seen a previous presentation, I have all kinds of new stuff in here to upgrade yourself, your brand, your team, and most importantly, your top line revenue using AI. I got that from a recent client. Also going to demonstrate something called super agents that do weeks of work in minutes. This is something that really excites me over everything else. And let's get this started with, while you're watching this, your competitors are using AI to quote projects 10 times faster, create marketing content at scale, and steal your customers. Every day you wait costs you revenue that you're not using AI. And in my mind, you have months to adapt. I used to say that there's an 18-month AI adoption window for most businesses. I actually think it is less than that. Early adopters are already seeing 10-to-1 ROI in their investments in AI, and late adopters are going to struggle to catch up. The question is, which will be you? You know that old saying, when's the best time to plant a tree? It was either the moment AI was released, November 20th, 2022, or right now. And in my mind, you have two choices, which is to become an AI-powered business owner in the next 90 days or watch your margins shrink as AI-savvy competitors undercut you by 30 to 50% or more. I'm already seeing that happen with people who are not getting it and not getting it involved. We have been running tests. I've presented now to over 30,000 business owners and founders, and we do AI training, both online, and we also do live courses. And the people who get in and even commit 2 days to work with their teams are the ones that get ahead really quickly. I'll tell you more about that as we move along. Now, you may have seen this article a while ago. The Anthropic CEO warns that AI will destroy half of all white-collar jobs, and that may be true. I happen to look at AI through the lens of optimism, okay, and abundance, and think of it as a huge multiplier that actually benefits the teams and the founders who use it properly. Part of what I'm going to share to you is the mindset and the psychology of that. But you also may have seen this. This is something that Sam Altman has said, which is in my group chat with my high-tech CEO friends. There's a betting pool for the first year that there will be a one-person billion-dollar company. Now, I do think that is significant. And in the abundance and from the abundance mindset, there are already people who are figuring out how to take advantage of data and building tools, some of which I'm going to show to you today, because some of the questions I get is, hey, what about these code-making tools? Don't worry, I'm going to get there when I get to the super agents. So here's some of the fears that I've heard from founders and employees, because we've surveyed over 5,000 business owner founders. And right before our live events, this is the kind of thing we get. Fear of being left behind. Does this sound familiar? Becoming irrelevant. Not being able to compete. Lower margins than competitors who figured out how to use AI. Will my business or job exist in a few years? Now, that one I hear all the time from the employees, the team members who are like, I don't know if I want to adopt it. And they're like caught in between a rock and a hard place, or I don't think I'll be able to keep up. It's so overwhelming. Or how specifically is this going to help me? Yeah, I've used ChatGPT for blah, 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 but how do I use it in my workflows? Or I'm not a tech person. One of my best friends, John Assaraf, says that all the time. And what I want you to know is you don't need to be a technical person to take advantage of this. It's in the mindsets, and it's also in what tools you use when and in what order. So that brings us to my big fat promise, and that is which AI to use, when, and why. AI super agents that think ahead, plan, and do your work for you. How to hire amazing teams and integrators with AI. I've got a great story about that. How to get customers, investors, and speaking gigs with AI. I'm going to show you how to use super agents that literally go out and find you customers. This during one of our live training events, AI Accelerator Live, this was the aha jaw-dropping moment when I showed this off. Well, I'm going to give it to you for free. And then the fastest, easiest tools to create marketing, training, and SOPs, and creating real apps and automations that grow your business quickly. I'm talking about really writing software with a prompt. I'll show you a real life case study from one of our clients, and then how to get your team to adopt and use AI quickly. And oh, by the way, just so you know it, I have a QR code that I'll be showing periodically. If you're in a position where you just want to get started with AI right now, that is a place to book a call with a real person Aaron, who will talk to you about using AI and some of the things that we have available to you as a business owner founder. So you can take advantage of that at any time. Now, I'm going to share a story with you, not to impress you, but to impress upon you the power of AI, because last week I got booked to speak at NASA about AI. They asked me to show off how generative AI can be used to bring humanity to the moon and solve some of NASA's 137 top challenges. And there, just for a little social proof, there's my photo and my bio on the website. It's planted there. Now, I got this gig because someone saw me speak and said, hey, I'm speaking at NASA. I'd love you to speak with me, because they saw what I was doing with generative AI, and specifically being able to use super agents to solve huge problems really quickly and create software in real time. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing. There's going to be investors in the room, students, PhDs, a lot of people from space, and also some big industries like Intel will be there. So I share that with you again because I was able to put together a really descriptive curriculum using AI, knowing absolutely nothing about the topic or content. And that exact same thing happened not long ago. I got a gig speaking at the United Nations. And the challenge that I had is I got this call from my friend, Dr. Dunnies. That's Dr. Dunnies there. My wife, Vivian, Barry Goldstein, who is a awesome composer, Grammy Award-winning composer, who does all the music for Joe Dispenza, by the way. Anyway, she said, Mike, I'd love you to speak at the UN. And I said, that sounds great. And she says, there's a catch. What's that? She says, I need your speech and your UN-approved bio in 4 hours, and you're going to be presenting in 30 hours from now. So I had to take a red eye from San Diego to New York City to pull this thing off. Now, I don't know the first thing about speaking about UN or to the UN, but fortunately my wife, Vivian Glick, who's been doing humanitarian work for the past 20 years, had been to the United Nations more than once. She'd also been to the White House more than once. She's been doing humanitarian work on the ground in Uganda and India for over 20 years. So I just sat down and I brainstormed with her using Otter. Now, if you're not using Otter, this is one of my favorite AI tools. I recommend you install it on your phone and record everything all the time. I'll tell you why in a moment. But all she and I started doing is just brainstorming. And I came up with this little prompt. And I said, hi, I'm Mike Koenigs. I'm speaking at the United Nations to a group of senators, policymakers, and people from the new administration, blah, 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 blah. And basically just went through, described what was going on, and we brainstormed about what to do. My assignment was to put together a presentation to talk about how to use generative AI to help women in impoverished worlds create and launch businesses and be able to do fundraising. Well, not only did I have the speech, which you can see here, I had my bio done. Now, the good news was this is what it looked like. I sent them over a UN-approved bio. By the way, you can never say the word I or me. It's never about me. And the speech, which when I went through and I tested it, because I asked ChatGPT, how long is this? It came in to 7.5 minutes, which as long as I pulled that off, it would have been miraculous. By the way, there are some photos showing us in the big room at the United Nations. So what I did is made the presentation. It took 7.5 minutes. Everyone else went over time, and it was, the overall opinion was it was the most relevant, meaningful speech, and it was the shortest one made while we were there. And we got asked back, which is always a great thing. So again, I'm telling you that right now because what is important about doing something like this with AI is ask yourself that question. Is there a dream that I wish I could make come true because of AI? And this I consider to be one of mine, to be able to speak at institutions like that where normally I'd have no credibility. So let's move on to the big question. This is really an excuse I hear all the time, which is I'm so busy running my business, I don't have time to learn AI. And look, I get it. I really get it. But what I want you to know is it's not about the tools, because the tools are toys. It's frameworks create freedom. And the frameworks are the ones that set your brain free. And no matter what new shiny object comes along, as long as you understand the frameworks and the mindsets of using AI, you'll know how to use it. And that brings us to who is this for? So it's founders like you who are actively involved in their companies who want impact and ROI, not theory. Of course, employees can be watching this. Of course, people who have jobs can be watching this, but I tune this content specifically to founders and owners of businesses. Our target audience are usually $2 million to $150 million privately held companies. Or you consider yourself a strategic thinker who understands and gets that AI without execution is novelty. In other words, AI can just generate a whole bunch of useless crap unless you know the rules of AI. And it's for hands-on leaders who show up, test, and partner with integrators for real ROI. In other words, you don't expect that you're going to do all the work, but you are going to be present so you understand what is possible and what is an unreasonable ask. Because I see that all the time in our workshops where we have founders in the room with their integrators who start doing this stuff. And then innovators, unafraid to experiment, fail fast, and iterate to find breakthroughs. I always love to quote, SpaceX does a good job of this. Michael Dontchev, who is the director of launch for SpaceX, he's basically said, look, we blow up a lot of rockets, but we learn a lot with every single one of them. It's expected. And that's what innovators do, is they're guesses and bets. That's what we do as business owners and founders. We just know that not everything, and oftentimes less than half, actually work. AI simplifies that. It increases the probability. So who is this not for? Well, founders who just want an AI babysitter to hand off AI and hope it just works while you stay uninvolved. That flat out fails. Those who will win and succeed are active founders and owners. Shiny object chasers who mistake AI for a toy, trend, or novelty. That's deep, but if it's sort of like, hey, let's just play along with this. No, you got to take it seriously. It is a tool. It is a collaborative partner. It is a creative partner who's with you. And it's not for laggards who can't stomach failure or iteration. So if there's no game, there's no glory. I think we live in a moment where those who wait are absolutely screwed. Your lunch is going to be eaten. So mark my words. I don't mean to scare you, but that's just the fact. So let's talk about Quadrant 1, your AI superpowers. Now my AI, let's go back to that. I teach 4 quadrants of AI, all right? So these have been updated. And the first one is your AI superpowers. And this is all about giving yourself and your team new AI capabilities and also multiplying your productivity by 3 to 10 times. And if I were just going to pin that down, here's what's most important. Right now, we give up our agency as human beings. We've given it up to institutions, the government. We're always saying, hey, how do I do this? Looking for someone else to have the answer. And the fact is, all of human knowledge has already been loaded into AIs. And if you just ask it questions, it knows the answers. And there's workarounds if you're afraid that it might be lying to you, because humans lie to you too, okay? Oftentimes for worse reasons. But in Quadrant 1, this is all about making you more productive. Now, my number one simple productivity AI tip is simply this. I use ChatGPT as my fail-safe. It's my number one go-to AI. Now, I use a bunch of other ones, and I think of it as my toolbox. But if you're wondering what's the best one, it's not the best, but it's the best Swiss Army knife. And if you are an iPhone user with a recent phone and you have something called an action button, my recommendation is if you follow that direction up there, you press the general button, you can set up a shortcut and it will automatically launch ChatGPT. And then what you can do is just talk to ChatGPT, which I do all the time. So just start talking to it and press the microphone button or anything I ever want to know anything about. I use it in the car. I use it on my bike. I talk to ChatGPT. I have conversations and I solve my biggest challenges all the time. So that leads me to, well, what's a really good application for it? And that is AI as your meta coach. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the more you use ChatGPT, or almost all the AIs now, they have extended learning. They learn about you and they remember everything. And this is, by the way, one of the reasons why you want to have real accounts and pay for these tools, because if you're not paying for them, you are the product. And if you're worried about privacy, here's what I tell everyone. You gave up your privacy the moment you got a smartphone, the moment you started using the internet. If you've ever used a Meta property or TikTok, you long gave up all of your privacy. You are a target. Now you are an algorithm, and that's something to just get over. If you don't want the tools, don't use them. But your best safeguard against violation of privacy with these tools is pay for them. The good ones all say in their terms of service, they're not training their master data with your information. That is your information, okay? That doesn't mean I trust them all, but that's a different story for a different time and maybe a cocktail. But let's get back to learning, which is, this is one of the things that if you type it in, take everything you know about me and describe me in just one word, mine is relentless. I'd be curious what yours are if you scan and pop that into your chat. But I get lots of good responses. But here's a real practical one. As a meta coach, give me my time back. So again, if you're using ChatGPT, it's paying attention to what you're doing all the time. So you can say, I want you to help me get as much of my time back as possible. So I want you to create a prompt, and based on everything you know about me, everything that I do, give me 10 recommendations and suggestions on how I can become more efficient, get my time back, focus on my greatest, highest value, and start creating passive income or increase my value by 3 to 10 times or more. What should I do first? Now notice I said I want you to help me get as much time, and then based on me, give me 10 recommendations. So for me, I popped this in, and it gave me 10 really good ideas, but it also provided and created a master prompt. So I asked it to make me a prompt. So know that AI will teach you how to do AI, and if you just give it your intent, your outcome, you don't even need to know how to prompt it. So that's one of the things that prevents people from moving forward often. They're like, I don't know how to prompt it. Mike, you enter such great prompts. It's because, yeah, I practiced this thousands of hours at this point. But I got really good information. When I did the same thing a couple months ago, it gave me a bunch of ideas, and I immediately started working on them because it told me what I should do. So now the ones I got back are different than the ones that came up months ago. All right. So again, this thing learns with you. And that brings us to the MAC method for AI implementation, which is mentor. Teach me how to do this. You don't need to know how to use AI or do AI. Say, make me a prompt that will accomplish this outcome. And if you don't know what you want, ask AI to coach you. Just say, hey, I'm just going to talk to you and I want you to give me some ideas on how to be better, or whatever problem you have. And then the assistant will do it for you, and then you can improve and use it as a critic. So mentor, assistant, critic is MAC. That is a framework. That leads us to, oh man, I want to get someone to do it for me. Now, I think AI is a fantastic tool for team building, creating teams, but also being more productive, but also hiring people to do stuff for you. And the first person you should have in your business, or an upgraded one all the time, is an integrator, a COO. This is how to hire one. Right there is my friend and podcast partner, Dan Sullivan. He's 81 years old. He wrote the book, Who Not How, with Dr. Benjamin Hardy. I get a lot of my ideas from Dan. But one day I got a call from my chief of staff, my integrator, who gave me notice and said, I'm leaving, Mike. Not because of something that you did that was wrong, not because I did anything wrong. It's time for me to leave. Well, that scared the hell out of me because I had a lot of client business racked up. It took years to train her and get her to where she was. But I'll get to how we solved that problem. But all I did is I fired up good old ChatGPT. I pressed the voice button and I started talking to it. I just received word yesterday that my chief of staff is leaving and I have 3 weeks to replace her. I need a high value person. So anyway, I fed in this prompt. I just talked to ChatGPT. It was whoa me in my bed. And I asked it to ask me clarifying questions, which it did. And I spoke the responses back to it. I talked to it like a person. That is a very important part of this. So in moments, I had a killer job description put together. Now I posted that, sent it off to a couple of my friends, 3 of which responded to me and immediately said, what you're looking for, Mike, is a unicorn. You're never going to find this person. I'm like, hey, thanks, buddy. But if I would have had to have written this job description or hired someone or hired an agency, it would have taken me a week of time. It would have cost me tens of thousands of dollars, but I had a really good descriptive one ad that I posted and I got 4 responses. My first response, I hired immediately. She's with us right now. By the way, this thing had all the details on what to do next, including how to hire, what questions to ask, everything. Everything was in there. This would have cost me thousands of dollars to pay someone else to make. I did it in 40 minutes. Now here's where things get great. I decided I'm going to hire 2 people, not just one this time, not get put into a position like that. So I got another response from someone. You can see the top said, someone said unicorn, because The next candidate who responded not only wrote a really great letter basically saying, I couldn't help stop nodding, a build while flying, the team whisperer, zero drama EQ, protect the neural bandwidth type of role. So the words in this ad not only resonated with her so much, she went down and she took pictures of her books, a whole bunch of books that I've read that were necessary reading for the right person, with a description of all the things she'd done. And you could tell that she had expertly used AI to help her write her cover letter, which impressed me. Well, to say the least, we hired her right away. She got to work. And the most important thing here is because we had been storing, using Otter and also a couple other tools to record all of our content and make AIs, we're able to get her up to speed and functionally useful within a couple of weeks. Because of AI, we didn't lose institutional knowledge. More of that coming up soon. So how could this strategy help you right now by finding a perfect who to help you get the how done with AI? Well, that leads us to another big idea. I get asked this question all the time. Okay, which AI should I use and when? Well, I'm going to show you another framework, another strategy I call multiple geniuses. And the basic question I want to ask you is this. All right, so if you could have a genius in your pocket with an IQ of 160 or greater that worked for you for $20 a month and got stuff done, all the way done, would you invest in that? Okay, and the answer better be yes by putting ChatGPT on your phone. But I also have a lot of other tools on my phone because I have a tendency to always ask multiple geniuses the same question. So when I used to write software, I would actually hire multiple programmers to work on the same problem independently just to see what would happen. Now I give the same problem to AI. Now here's an example of a tool I use. It's called ChatHub. I used to use this a lot more because I changed my strategy, but I still like to illustrate that I'll put the same problem. So for example, the prompt I'm putting in here is I'm writing a book. My name is Mike Koenigs. Create a style guide for me. And 6 AIs go off and fire off and work on the same problem simultaneously. That's what's going on here. And they get all 6 of the problems done almost immediately. But if I press the bottom right button, ChatHub will synthesize 6 results into one result. It takes the best of and synthesizes them all together. This is the same as if you could hire 6 MBA or PhDs to work on the same problem that would normally take them hours, days, or weeks to do in a matter of minutes. That is the power of the multiple genius strategy, okay? And if you were paying $20 for 6 geniuses, don't you think you could get more done faster? This is why I pay for these tools. And you can get by for like $150 a month, all right? It doesn't have to be expensive, but my highest recommendation is do this. And that leads me to a mindset that I have. I call it monkey pick good banana. Let's listen to this.
Monkey pick good banana.
Okay, a tool called Google VEO3 made that for me with just a prompt. But just to explain what monkey pick good banana means is if you put a monkey into a room and had hundreds of bananas laying around, some of them were old, some of them were moldy, some of them were nasty, and threw the monkey in there, the monkey would pick the good one to eat, okay? Any monkey can pick a good banana, and humans can do the same. When you feed a problem into AI and you review the results, you can see which one is best. You don't have to be an expert. So here's a list of the AIs that I use in the order that I use them. So I already told you ChatGPT, it's the Swiss Army knife. Then I use Claude, which is really good at writing, and it's a good option. In other words, I have 2 geniuses in my room. The third that I use is one called GenSpark, G-E-N-S-P-A-R-K. It is a super agent. I'll show you some use cases for that in a moment. It is really smart. And then I do use Grok, Elon's Grok, G-R-O-K, because it is they don't censor, okay? And sometimes you have to argue with ChatGPT because it can't do it because it's a crybaby, okay? And it's like, look, I just want a robot that does what I want you to do, but some of their idiotic censors are on and don't let you get your stuff done. So I can't fire it because it's too good to fire, but I would just because of that. Well, Grok gets past that. But Grok doesn't always give me the same quality of answers, but it's really smart. Perplexity for research. And then there's one called Manus, another super agent. Now the rest of them, Minimax, another super agent. Abacus is another super agent. These are basically thinking AIs that where ChatGPT does step by step, these are the ones that actually can think through a problem. They take a longer time to process. Instead of talking about it, I'm going to show you. And just to summarize the multiple geniuses is, again, why wouldn't you have a bunch of them working at once? Look at the results and pick the one that's best. So this is a multi-genius prompt and a really good example of what's possible. So we all have copywriting challenges. We have to market ourselves more effectively. And if you had a marketing partner that would review your content, your website, anything that you have, and give you recommendations and suggestions that came from someone with 20 or 30 years of marketing experience who's a genius, don't you think that would be valuable? You probably would normally pay tens or at least thousands of dollars for that. So here's what we did. We've got our AI Accelerator live event. We're always improving it. So I said, give me a prompt I can use that will do deep research on this website and act as though you're a top copywriter in the world who does direct response marketing and has 20 years of experience marketing and promoting live events. Look through each of the segments, blah, blah, blah. Find ways to create more engagement and hooks that would entice a business owner or founder. Okay. And then I also said, put on your Steve Jobs and create incredibly memorable, eye-catching, engaging, and emotional hooks and metaphors, like 10,000 songs in your pocket or make a dent in the universe. Okay. Steve Jobs is arguably one of the greatest marketers who ever lived. So I fed that into ChatGPT and it actually made the prompt. Okay. So remember the Mac method, teach me how to do this or do it for me. So I fed that in and it made the prompt and here's what happened. Okay. It gets to work and it spits out. Now, by the way, I put the same prompt into Claude. Why? Because Claude is a really smart genius as well. Okay. And then I put the same prompt in GenSpark. Boom. Then I put it into Grok, the G-R-O-K Grok. All right. And then I put it in another tool called Minimax. All right. It's another smart agent or super agent. Then I put it in Manus, another super agent. Why would I do this? Oh yeah. How about Skywork AI? That's another one. It's because I want options. I want to see what all of them say because at a glance, I'm a good monkey. I can pick a good banana and I don't need to know anything about anything to be able to say, hey, that one kind of looks like BS. Okay. Abacus is another one. Gemini. So they're all racing. They're all doing their jobs. And here goes another one called Kimi. So I know one of the things that while this is processing that I'll tell you, and oh, by the way, look at this, ruthless teardowns. It comes in and it goes through every part and it gives us 3 different ideas to rewrite the copy. I also told it rate it, okay? So it rated each one and gave us, some low marks on how to make it more beneficial. So it was really easy to meet with my team, meet with my copywriter and say, hey, which of these do you think we could add? And it just takes a short meeting and it made me an expert. It made him an even better expert. And we're getting some advice and we can look at it at a glance and say, yeah, that'll work. No, that won't work. So think of it as your first draft partner. And that is what's important. But I love getting advice from lots and lots of geniuses. All right. And by the way, some people will say, oh yeah, well, what if it hallucinates? What if your AI makes stuff up? Hey, has a human ever lied to you? Has a human ever made stuff up? Do you think a human may have misforgotten something before? What a useful word. And AI can do the same thing. It can do it a lot faster. But if you've got a whole bunch of AIs working at once and you tell them to fact check themselves and you cross fact check, I'll tell you what, there's a much higher probability that you're going to get a real answer in a lot less time because they don't all hallucinate the same way at the same time. And they're hallucinating a lot less. So that's just something to put in your pipe and smoke it. Let's move on to quadrant number 2. And by the way, let's just check in here. Take a big deep breath. How much time, money, energy do you think some of these suggestions are going to make for you right now? And also, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by AI, it's okay. It's okay. The more you use it, the more you're around people who talk about it, the best way to learn AI is to just be immersed. This is a good immersion. Spend some time with me and my team whenever you get a chance so we can help you. All right. That's what we're here for. All right, let's get back into it. Quadrant number 2, a one-person marketing team. I want that. Everyone wants it, to grow your brand reach and attention with high-value, engaging content in your voice. Now, the truth is I can spend days on this topic alone, but I'm going to use a little example here. So my son, Zach, went to school for film production. He was also a philosophy major. Both of those seem like, oh my God, those aren't good things to study to get a job. But he's more of the artist. And he's also an AI enthusiast because he just paid attention to me doing it. And I'm going to tell you a little story about what happened with Zach and how he used AI and got a job after focusing on one thing for only 48 hours, which ain't too bad for a 23-year-old, by the way. But let me show you something he made that we played at the beginning of our last live event. So this was made with Google VEO3, which is free, and you can create animations and videos, and he just strung them together from just like a little description that he made with ChatGPT. Here you go.
You ever wish you could go back in time?
Before Amazon blew up?
Before Bitcoin hit? Before the iPhone changed the game?
Well, guess what? That wish, that window, it just opened.
Launched 10 companies in 10 days. You can turn one idea into a brand in 1 hour.
You don't need a coder.
You don't need a team.
You don't need to be a tech wizard. All you need is the right system.
And that's what we're giving you.
Okay, that wasn't perfect, but he did that in about a half an hour. And right now, there are people making full-length feature films with their laptops. That's going to continue to happen worldwide. I mean, that's the world we live in right now, is rapid prototyping, iteration, bringing it to market fastest. That is the new world we live in. So the point of this, the great news is, I had a client who saw Zach put these together at a live event. They started getting engaged. I showed Zach some tools that I'm going to show you that actually write code for you. It's called vibe coding. That's the term that the marketing weenies have made up. But the net is he got a job, and an $80,000 a year job creating, prototyping, writing code, and products from skills that he learned in days. Okay, so if a young person with severe ADHD, like his old man, can do it, you can do it too. No matter who you are and where you live, no matter what your technical levels are. So let's move on to another big hit, which is how much, and by the way, I'm a very proud daddy because of that. So think about this. How much time, money, energy, and expertise does it create to create manuals and documentation or marketing materials and content? A lot, okay? It is so hard to find someone to write in your voice. But GenSpark is remarkable at that. And with it, you can use it to learn anything. I use it to teach me AI every single day, turn any video and content into a presentation. You can make anything understandable. You can rewrite anyone's material in your voice. And you can also take anything and have it written like you and your brand. Now, I'm going to give you an example. This is fairly complex. This is an incredibly useful prompt. I'm going to read it to you first, then describe what it does. I use this every single day. So I say, take the video content from this playlist. That means a full video playlist from YouTube. This is really hard to do. And create a beautiful step-by-step installation manual for indieread.com using their brand colors and how to install the products described and listed in all of these videos. For each of the major steps, I want you to include a timestamp to the original video and a link to the video that is playing so the reader can have perfect clarity on what to do next. If possible, grab a screen capture of that video and insert it in the documentation. Okay, so in short, I use GenSpark. It's a super agent, and it's got a feature called AI Docs. So I click on the AI Docs button. I paste in this little prompt that I just showed you, and in a matter of moments, it goes to town. It goes and visits all of this special playlist on YouTube, and it starts gathering all the data and building an instruction manual by grabbing all the videos, finding the images, looking at the time codes, and it's cranking away. Now, I asked Enderead, they're one of our master clients. They did the Superpower Accelerator with us, which basically means we spend 3 days reinventing them, creating a brand. How long, how much? They said, we've been trying to get this done for 5 years. It's still not done. By the way, on the right, you can see what it looked like. All right, so it grabbed screen captures. It went through step by step how to install what are their product. Okay, and what their product are their synthetic thatch, which basically makes any home, any office, or any building look like a tiki hut. But it went through and it grabbed the step-by-step it grabbed all the instruction manuals, what tools you need. It's writing this, okay? So this tool can build websites. It can create PowerPoint presentations. It can make videos. But I asked them, how much time, how much money would this have cost? And they said, weeks of time, thousands of dollars. And like I said, oh, by the way, it had never been done before. So you can take any instruction manual or any video you have and make an SOP, a standard operating procedure for your team. This is powerful stuff. So what are the downsides of GenSpark? Well, there are a couple. One of them is sometimes it fails. So you got to start and restart it. Now, my little simple thing is I just start the same process in 2 windows, and one of them will finish if the other one pukes. So who cares? All right. Content overwhelm. There's a term that's called the unshitification of the internet that is rapidly happening, which means there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of crap being made. AI crap, okay? That's unshitification. So it's easy to, just because you can create more doesn't mean it's better. That's why you got to pick a good banana. And the polish, someone needs to finish. Okay, AI can get things usually about 60 to maybe 85% of the way there. It still needs to be polished by a human, okay? Or polished by an AI, and you've got to know how to polish it. Now, right now, GenSpark is my favorite go-to tool beyond ChatGPT. For now, I have no loyalty, okay? None whatsoever to any of these tools. If one is better tomorrow, I'm going to dump it, all right? So I'm tool agnostic. And when it breaks, I use another one called Manus.im, which is also an amazing super agent. So remember, I get multiple things working on the same problem simultaneously. Manus also does this. It turns out GenSpark does better formatting. Now here's a good spot. If you're waving your hand going, my God, I just want someone to get going and help me with this, I'd like to introduce you to Aaron Biblo. Scan that QR code or go to that link, MikeKoenigs.com/talk. You can schedule a meeting with him right now and learn about how we can work with you and help you. We've got amazing AI training programs, AI Accelerator. We've got live and virtual events available, and we can guide you. There are opportunities to work directly with me or my team to build and grow and change your business with AI, implementation style, hands-on, with your teams, okay? So if you're just sitting there going, my God, I want more of this, I want it now, do not hesitate. If you're a quick start, I'm speaking to you. All right, so that QR code will show up multiple times. Again, you can just go to one of my domains /talk, it'll bring you there, MikeKoenigs.com/talk, AIaccelerator.com/talk. Let's move on. One of my other favorite tools, this thing is so powerful, it gets better every week. It's called Notebook LM from Google. And this is a big idea, another mindset, which is never lose institutional knowledge. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the worst thing you can ever have is someone will quit working for you, lose a team member who's worked for you for years, and there's no notes, no SOPs, no recordings of everything that goes on. I already told you, we record everything. Now, one of the tools we use is Otter. Another one we use is called Fathom. So I'm going to show you a use case that will help create documentation, manuals. Remember I told you we trained our new people in a week and a half, had them fully functional? It's because of Notebook LM. We put all of our client work in here. So it's super easy. You can go into Notebook, and now Fathom is what we use. We record all of our calls, all of our conversations that we have, for example, with new clients. So we just go over to the transcript button in Fathom, hit copy. By the way, Fathom joins any Zoom episode. You paste in the transcript and boom, it digests it into what's called a notebook. And we do that multiple times. And you can batch import stuff. You can use Google Docs. You can put videos in here. I put entire videos in here. I put entire, hundreds of documents, and it can learn and digest it. So it's like creating your own private large language model or your own AI. And it's different than a ChatGPT because it can digest huge volumes of information. But with one button, it can make a podcast, for example, and you may have seen that before. So for this particular use case, we had our event, AI Accelerator Live, was coming up. And we onboarded everyone because I wanted to create a curriculum to teach all of our customers what they most wanted to learn. So you can see here, there's a prompt I put in. It says, give me a list of the top challenges that each of the interviews have and customers have in their business in priority order by most frequently mentioned and highest value, followed by how the event can give them a massive win in their business and exceed their expectations and provide deep insights, okay, that provide maximum value and ROI. So that's the prompt I popped in here, and boom, in a matter of seconds, we get what everyone wants: automation, efficiency, marketing, lead generation, sales, implementing specific AI tools and workflows, content creation, okay? By the way, I guarantee you these are the same you'd have as well. I've surveyed 5,000 business owners. We know this inside and out, but it included citations, no hallucinations. There's the curriculum that I used to design the training that we did over a period of 2 days. Do you think that was kind of useful? Being able to digest hours and hours and hours of content? This is how you can train a team. But I also was like, hey, I got to hand this off to Brad Costanzo, who does the training. I wanted to make it easy for him. So I put in a prompt that says, create a podcast episode about this live onboarding content for the event. Open with the top 10 most impactful, valuable, specific requests from interviews that can dramatically help them achieve their goals. It's to help the trainers teach best and provide value. And then I basically say at the bottom, at the start of the podcast, start with the data first, no pre-framing, never say deep dive, game changer, unpack, delve, or dive in, or stupid crap that AI makes up. I hate that. All right, so I paste this in because you can configure and do this. And oh, by the way, right now, Notebook also makes videos. It makes little training videos. It's insane. So I sent it to work. I said, make me a podcast that I could send to Brad. So in about 10 minutes, he could listen to everything that got covered. So I pushed play.
Okay, looking at the recent AI Accelerator Live event onboarding calls, we've pulled out the 10 really key areas attendees are focused on.
Right, this is straight from them, what they need, what challenges they're facing right now.
It gives us a really clear picture for tailoring the event.
Yeah.
And the biggest single request, the one Aaron Biblow pointed out as most frequent.
Let me guess. How to actually do it.
Exactly. Implementation support. They want the specific tools, the specific blueprints, how to put AI into action in their business.
Yeah, that makes total sense. People are past the what is AI stage. They're asking, okay, how do I build with this stuff? They need the mechanics.
That practical, actionable guidance is number one, definitely. So beyond that, we've got 9 other high-impact areas that came up repeatedly.
Okay,
Let's
you kind of
walk
get
through
the
those.
idea,
Sounds
right?
good. Where do we start?
Is that incredibly valuable? So getting people on the same page. I've got attorneys and business owners who are dealing with incredibly complex cases, hundreds of pages of facts and documentation and information. They got to get up to speed. And they're used to people showing up completely unprepared. So they're like, what are we talking about again? No, you can have all your notes, all your meeting notes. And I've never had anyone say, hey, I don't want you to record that because I educate them too. So we break down every task we have into Google Notebooks now. It is incredibly valuable. One of our top 10 tools. So think about it right now. Where we are right now, what have your biggest takeaways and shares been so far? If you had to think of one big one, is it the network of geniuses? Is it the MAC method, teaching and training? Is it never lose institutional knowledge? What is it for you that is most valuable? Because no matter where you are, just changing your mindset, doesn't matter how advanced you are with AI, just reinforcing these are what makes you strong and good. And it's also what you want to pass on to your team members and employees. Send this to them right now. Have them watch this. Let's move on to quadrant number 3, opportunities and income. Closing bigger deals faster, accessing better customers, create new offers, command premium prices, or as I like to say, top line revenue. Businesses that are focused on bottom line revenue, that's like scraping to the bottom of the barrel. Someone's getting screwed. It's when you're worried about bottom line, you're screwing your customers, you're screwing your employees, you're screwing the value chain, your supply chain. Someone's getting less, okay? That's the way bottom line thinking works. AI is for top line revenue creation. I can't reinforce that enough. It's value creation. It's being the first, the best, and the only. And AI can help you do that. So this is one of the big hits from our last live event. Get more customers. So take a look at this prompt. And remember, if you need help with AI, scan that code, schedule an appointment, and get your butt into one of our trainings so you can do this with us. This is where the biggest breakthroughs happen. All right. So identify 100 female-owned and operated businesses in North America that are in major cities that fit the ideal customer profile in this attached document. By the way, if you don't have your ideal customer profile, ask AI to make it for you. The ideal female owner belongs to professional organizations or industry associations related to their markets such as EO, YPO. Ideally, they have a recognized platform, regularly appear in podcasts or written a book. Notice that the English in there, the spelling, the grammar is kind of crap. Doesn't matter. Just talk to it and get it done, okay? Whoever's first wins. That's just the new rules. So I feed that into GenSpark. Why GenSpark? Because it's got this function called AI Sheets, and this is freaking amazing, okay? What that means, by the way, in this particular one, this is with a client. We were doing this live for him. So I sent it to town, sent it to work, finding him 100 potential clients because we had created all his new marketing material. He's like, now I need people to put this in front of. Where am I going to get the customers? So we put in the prompt, fed it in GenSpark, and look at this. In a matter of moments, it built a list. Take a look at this close up. There's the business name, the owner name, the industry, their annual revenue, their location, how many years they're established, what businesses they're associated with, and did deep research on the female entrepreneur, including their contact information, by the way. All right? Yeah, I know that can be scary, but get over it. You want more customers fast, right? A lot of tools will do that for you. So we can also use this tool to write introductory messages in your voice to each one of these people describing why you should have a conversation, all right? So for individual outreach or referral outreach, that's number one, getting more customers. That prompt is very, very adaptable to any application. But I had another client one day, they came and they wanted to help them raise money. They want to raise $3.4 million. So here's the prompt. Build a list of 50 potential investors for this product that match this criteria and examine all the data and info attached. Find similar investors who have invested in similar products and projects in the past or represent direct marketing channels and platforms that influence this type of investor. Okay, if you look at this, this is an incredibly interesting prompt because I'm basically saying find people who've invested in companies just like this who have leverage and access, okay? This is adaptable to any business. So same thing, I feed it into ChatGPT or GenSpark Sheets. So it goes to town and you'll see on the right, and by the way, I uploaded their pitch package, their offer documents, anything you can give to AI trains it so it's smarter. And this thing goes to town. Now what GenSpark, all the instructions you see on the left are called chain of thought. This thing problem solved and figured out where to find all these people. And it went out to a whole bunch of places. And right away, Dave Asprey shows up on top. The investor name, what type of investor, what company they're from, their past investments, and the relevance to the investment that we put in there, this company that I was consulting with. Now, if you paid someone to do this, this would take weeks. Normally, just to find this kind of data is a $10,000 to $20,000 investment. $20 a month, okay? Would you, should you be doing this? The answer is hell yeah. Okay, here's another one I get all the time. Hey, Mike, I need to get in front of ideal audiences. Where do you get all your speaking gigs? Okay, I got to get my message in front of more people. Okay, well, this is another one of our clients. His name's Dana Cornell. That's his website. My name is Dana Cornell. Here's my website. I want to get on as many platforms and stages as possible that are similar to this one, okay? So we put in a recent stage he's been on. Find 50 more and give me all the information on the founder, their backstory, and create an introductory message or letter to create a partnership with them in my voice that will start a conversation so I can do a presentation or webinar for their following, okay? Holy crap. If you had to get, first of all, most humans can't do this. They're just terrible at it unless they're specialists at just doing this. So we feed this to GenSpark, we pop it in, we prompt it, all right? It goes to town, and guess what? It finds a whole bunch of platforms. Now, by the way, some of these, it's got some that are, in my opinion, kind of untouchable for him right now. Alex Hormozy, Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, but some of them are touchable. So if he even finds 5 or 10, that's pretty good. And then you'll just say, hey, look, a lot of these are out of my class. I don't have reach. Give me more who are more like this 3 or 5. You modify it, you give it feedback just like a human. It's a first draft partner, okay? Treat it like one. Treat it like a team member. That's what AI does best. All right, super powerful. This is another one. Now, again, I could spend days on this. I do at our live training events. I get this question all the time. Well, what about having AIs and super agents do my work for me? Okay, I'm going to show you that. Actually, those agents I just showed you can do that. But also, can it write code? Can it create solutions that work inside my business? Could I use it to make apps that'll grow my business? Answer, yes. All right. I'm going to give you a real life case study. This is one of our clients, Abram Huber from Enderreed, and they create thatched roofs. What does that mean? Well, imagine you had a backyard and you wanted to turn it into a tiki bar or a palapa, or you had a boat dock and you want to make it look cool, or you wanted to change your house so it looked like an island house. Okay, this is their business. Kind of interesting, huh? They create synthetic thatch. Now, what's great about synthetic thatch is it's fireproof, rot-proof, pest-proof, no snakes, no rats, no bird poop on top of your head or on your food, non-toxic, you don't have to put toxic treatments, no maintenance, and it's made in the United States of America. All right, pretty cool. And oh, by the way, they're the guys who did like Richard Branson's Necker Island. That's synthetic thatch, okay? They've also built Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, 45,000 square feet. 25 years later, it's still maintenance-free. Now, they work with some of the biggest brands in the world. So building trust, but the problem is no one knows about them. Okay, just a few people. They're a successful business, but they want to get to $100 million in sales. That's why they came to us. So one of the ideas that we came up with is I was showing my wife this and she says, hey, what would our backyard look like? That's our backyard gazebo with thatch on it. So we made a ChatGPT that would do that. Okay, so there's the before, there's the after. And we were thinking, hey, what if we appified that and use it as a lead generator? So I did just that. And in a moment, I'm going to show you how one prompt actually wrote an entire software product in about a half an hour. Okay. Now it wrote all the copy. So now this is this little tool. You pick your backyard image, you pick the type of thatch, and this tool went on their website and found all the different styles of thatch, grabbed pictures of it, and then I pressed the button and it would thatch the home. Now, full disclosure, it didn't do the thatching without a lot more coding, but at least I had a first draft that I could show them and say, hey, do you want to make an app that thatchifies anything? So that tool is called Abacus. It's one of the super agents I talked about. Now I'm going to show it to you, but this thing is also a deep agent. That's the thing that does the coding. I've got 7 other apps I use all the time. I use the Genius Network strategy, or the Circle of Geniuses rather. Genius Network is a registered trademark of my friend Joe Polish. But here's the prompt. Create an app called Thatchit that allows a user to upload a photo of their home, business, backyard, boathouse, gazebo, or any other structure and add thatch roofing in the style of all the different products available at enderade.com. Once the user presses the button, Thatchit output a photorealistic image of that same image thatched with roof thatching. The default setting will just add thatch, and advanced mode will allow the user to choose from different thatch styles and colors found at Enderade. Allow the user to download the thatched image. Add the text line for illustration purposes only. To learn more, visit enderade.com. Basically, this is a lead generator. Think of it like a funnel. So this is what it looked like. I pasted in the prompt. This thing goes to town, and it not only built the app, it wrote all the copy, it grabbed the colors from their website and made the software. Okay, I had a first draft semi-functional app in about 20 minutes. Now to say this is a game changer is a massive understatement, okay? If you were to pay a programmer to do that, first of all, they're gonna take like 3 to 4 weeks to say, what exactly do you want? They're gonna wanna go through a discovery process. No, now you can just prototype something and show it to a coder and say, now finish this for me. Now these coding tools are getting to the point where they can produce almost final products. They're getting really, really good. Like a couple weeks from now, I mean, they'll write games. But this is far enough that as of this week, this app will be done and it will be live. All right. To me, that is miraculous. Okay. And I've spent a lot of time in the software world, 20 years of having software companies building and selling them. This is a miracle and anyone can do it. Now, but there's one little catch. What's the catch, Mike? Well, AI is a bed shitter. I've found that you got to restart and run multiple instances. That's why I get multiple super agent coding buddies doing it for me. So I get multiples. And that's one of the things that we cover in our trainings is like at one of the events, one of our clients was there. They had a big problem. And here's what the problem was. They spent 8 to 12 hours writing custom reports for their wealth management company. It reached the point where they couldn't scale the business any longer because the founder had to do these special reports. And he had his team having to do a bunch of the work as well. About 14 hours total. While they were at our live event, they built an app that did all the work in 40 minutes start to finish, and it didn't require the founder to be there. So their estimate is it'll triple the volume of business that they'll be able to do as a result of this AI-generated report. That is the power of that. We're talking about to the tune of millions of dollars in additional revenue. So take a big deep breath. What are your biggest breakthroughs and takeaways so far? Are you excited? Getting more customers basically for free using those prompts I gave you? And no, there's a lot more. When we're doing the training, we've got workbooks, step-by-step, ABC 1, 2, 3. We do it workshop style. It's how to leverage AI as a meta coach was that one. Look, you can tell it to help you find how to create passive income. That's one of the things I happen to do. Well, here's something I'd like to share with you, which is when we did our AI Accelerator live event, we had about 50 people in the room. I wanted to keep it intimate and it's workshop style. Here's how it worked. We'd bring in people and we gave them workbooks. Each of the 4 quadrants was represented step-by-step ABC. I'm going to play a little video to give you a context to what the experience is like. This will give you an idea, and I'm going to tell you what the biggest lesson we learned about bringing an AI into an organization actually is. Check this out. And oh, by the way, yes, my son made this video too. As founder, entrepreneur, visionaries, we're in a constant state of trauma of not enough time, not enough money, not enough talent, not enough capabilities, not enough people. You can make it up and make it real faster than ever before and collapse time. And that's why we're going to see the first one-person billion-dollar company. It's going to be the visionary who implements fast.
Imagine it coaches you, your future self coaches you through your decisions every day. It's always aware of what you're doing. It knows who you want to be. We've already got the tech to do it, to be always on, always aware, and then give you proactive advice. I think we're going to have a really crazy world that we're living in.
Right now, creating content at scale and matching what your audience is actually wanting right now is critical, more critical than ever before. Pay close attention to the shift that's happening right now.
I believe right now we have about 18 to 36 months as business owners and founders to take advantage of AI and incorporate it both in our lives and our businesses, or you are going to be left behind. That was so much fun. My son was there, my wife was there, my nephew was there, who got a job while he's there, my brother was there. It was so much fun. And I learned so much. But you're wondering, what's the biggest lesson that we learned in doing this event? So this is important. What we did that was different and unique is we had founders present. We said, bring your number one, bring a business partner. Then we had digital tickets so the teams could be watching live. So every business was able to actually work as a team, getting stuff done workshop style. They got entire marketing plans written for the year. They built their one-person marketing team, but everyone got on the same page, and that's really what it is. Founders and implementers in workshops are most effective because you have a sprint. Everyone gets on the same page and understands what's possible. And it doesn't matter if you're overwhelmed because the guide walked you through it. And even if the founder is totally non-technical, they watched it and everyone was like, yeah. And you felt this team arrangement, and the sprint strategy works best because founders are quick starts. They need to do things interactively to get stuff done. Trying to pin them down over a long period of time, nothing gets done, all right? And if you want an implementer, we act as your implementer with you because it's workshop style, and there's a high probability you're gonna meet one of them at one of our live events or inside our community. All right, moving right along. Fast implementation. So here's what I'd do if I were you. Number one, commit to an AI culture. AI is a mindset and it's a behavior. You have to use it. So start using AI today and engage every one of your team members. And remember to FAFO, that's F around and find out. Next, leverage, capture everything. Your institutional knowledge is your value and all your training in one place. I use Notebook LM. I use Otter. I use Fathom for that. Use the multiple genius AI strategy. More experts are better. Monkey pick good banana, and then use AI to find your best next hire who's willing and ready to use AI, okay? I would not even consider hiring. It's like saying, yeah, hey, can you type? Can you use the internet? I don't know how to use the internet. Well, if you don't know how to use AI, I don't think you're hireable, okay? Better customers. Use AI to find better customers. Use dossiers to learn everything about them to sell more effectively. One of the strategies we teach is building dossiers to know everything about your prospect or your client when you speak with them. And then obviously take action today. Join a coaching group or a mastermind to give you guidance, keep you accountable, and access best-in-class thinking and tools, right? That's the list. And oh, by the way, of course we have a system for that. It's called AI Accelerator Live. And I invite you, scan this code if you'd like to have a conversation. I'll tell you a little bit more about who this is for and what you get. Even if you're overwhelmed by AI, even if you don't have an implementer right now, it's just getting exposed to do it. It's step-by-step workshop style. We do and implement Quadrants style. So getting your time back, your one-person marketing team so you get more attention, increasing the value of your business and your products, and then automating everything. And our new event is updated and improved because guess what? AI is changing all the time. So it's workshop and hot seat format. The way we do this is I open up with a real life use case that's step by step. The last one opened up, believe it or not, with my wife who reinvented herself and is creating a podcast that's focused on mental health. All right. Then you scan and open the playbook. So we've got these playbooks that have step by step copy paste prompts, kind of like what I showed you, except more in depth. You pick a workflow to solve a problem that you have in your business with AI in real time, with your team or with other people at the event. Then we've got Q&A and hot seats. And then we share our outcomes. Here's the truth. You'll learn more by hearing how other people use it. You're like, God, that's a good idea. People invented stuff we hadn't even thought of. We had people walking out of there with software already created, creating apps that were already done. All right. And optional, we've got continued support in a 6-month program, by the way. So, and if you want to learn more, here's some more details about it. And I'll tell you a little bit, I'll give you some of the FAQs we get all the time. First of all, it's 2 days, it's live, it's in person. And what you get is the ticket plus a virtual team ticket. So it's you and a +1. And we do welcome and advisory calls. That means we talk to you, just like I showed you earlier. We do onboarding. We learn about you and your business because this curriculum is made about you and for you. And then we have a product called AI Accelerator for Entrepreneurs. You get open access to 24 months of past trainings, and you get pre-event trainings, meaning you start like right now, and you also get access to our previous event recordings, which is awesome. And we have a WhatsApp group for real-time support. And again, at any time, you just go to aiaccelerator.com/talk and you can ask about the webinar deal. We've got a special deal going for you. Okay, we have a VIP experience, which basically means you also get a second person to come live, so 2 people, and you also get some bonuses like an additional 2 tickets for your virtual team, so it's basically 4 of you total. That means you can really get your whole team involved. You get an audit. We're actually going to audit your business and find out where the 4 quadrants can best work in your business. So you come prepared, ready to hit the the ground running. You also get something called my ambassador method. It's my influence method. It's a framework for getting the attention of massive audiences that you can get in front of. Also, you get some additional training and some prompt training ahead of time. And of course, there's a VIP dinner with other VIPs and speakers who are going to be there. We're doing this at the Genius Network offices in Arizona. So Joe Polish will be there, my friend Jeff Walker, creator of the product launch formula. And you get early room entry. All right, what else do you get? I got some other bonuses. So you get live recordings of our previous event and all the trainings. You can hit the ground running like now. Transcripts of our last event. The 4 Quadrants playbooks, step by step. By the way, this was a relatively expensive event. So you're getting all the recordings. You get AI Accelerator for Entrepreneurs. That's our $7,500 training program. You get a one-on-one call. And for the first 5 who respond to this video, you get something called a 1K cup of coffee session with me. That means you get a private coaching session with me. It's only the first 5 people. I'm busy as hell right now, but that's for in-person and VIP buyers. The dates are October 28th and 29th in Phoenix, Arizona. Let's say there's a wedding going on or something else, just cancel that and come to this. And I do have special guest speakers. As I mentioned already, Jeff Walker and Joe Polish, and I also have some amazing other guests. And the people there are awesome. I have a great community. You're wondering, what's the virtual cup of coffee, Mike? Well, it's an opportunity to meet with me. We have a really cool onboarding, and I use AI to do extremely deep research on you and talk to you about how to help you grow your business, increase your top line revenue, how to use AI to boost and create more value, or whatever big problem you have. We actually prototype and work on it real time with a lot of research. You will learn a ton from it. Normally that's $1,000. It's yours for the first 5. All right, that's what it looks like. Again, scan this code to schedule a conversation and learn more. Oh, and if you're wondering, oh man, I can't make it, I can't travel, or I live in some goofy country, well, we've got AI Accelerator Virtual. And that is also 2 days live. It's online, so you and can appear. We've got extra tickets available for your team. There's pre-event AI training sessions, so we still get you up to speed, and you get breakout rooms as well. Now, that does not include all of the same bonuses as the other program. This is the online version with training. So we really encourage you to be there in person, but we get so many people saying, hey, can I do this too? And again, to learn more about which one of these you should do, the answer is just scan that code, book a conversation, and Aaron will talk to you about which one is the best right fit for you. So I got one more thing to show you. Check this out. My wife Vivian spoke at the last one, and she's right here with me now. Wow. So come close so they can see you. There you are. Here. And team, why don't you put the link inside the, grab a screen capture, pop it in here. But Vivian, I just went through some brand new trainings.
Okay.
She didn't get to see me last night because I was working on the training for you today. But Vivian spoke at the event. She actually just reinvented herself, created a brand new platform. Why should folks be at the event? Why would they want to come? What was your experience? Aside from the fact our son Zach was there, my nephew was there, my brother was there. It was a family experience. But what, from your point of view, were the biggest takeaways and breakthroughs that you witnessed?
I think that the ability for teams, for founders to come with their teams or to be working with their teams and to be able to start putting these all of these tools into process while they were there, that you could just see all of these light bulbs going off and people getting super excited about what was possible in the moment. So I think that what really differentiated this from other programs that I've been to is the workshopping, that you're really sitting there, rolling up your sleeves, you're getting a lot of information, and then it just kind of begets itself, because when you see somebody else's light bulbs going off, then you're thinking, I want that too. And so you're looking more closely at the tools, figuring it out. I think people really solved a lot of problems while they were in the room. and also got inspired. And I mean, the networking is just fabulous. It's such a great, warm, close group of people who are really interested in progress and helping other people and making a contribution, making their lives easier.
Good.
How was
Thank
that?
You did a great job.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still thinking then. That's good.
And we had a lot of young people too. So I can tell you we had we had a gentleman who he's a significant figure. John Asaraf was there this time. I think he's planning on being at the next one. But a gentleman who's a major political figure was in the room who brought his son. And his son walked up afterwards and said it was simply the most significant professional experience of his life. And it gave him an enormous amount of hope. We had fathers and sons and moms and daughters there. We are going to have them at the next one. So if you're looking for a way to give your kids a massive leg up, and again, I'm going to say working level kids. I wouldn't be opposed to younger people, but we've got to say 18 and above unless they are truly exceptional. But we had young
Everyone's
people.
kid is truly exceptional.
Everyone's kid is exceptional. But we had a young man there who he's the son of a guy that I know who went there and he developed an app from scratch while he was in the at the event that was launchable when he left. And that is, if there's anything that I hope and I wish for you, is the fact that you can really make your dreams come true and invent and create things that you didn't think were possible, that you may have been stuck on for the longest time and just haven't been able to get traction on. And this opens up the possibilities and takes away the doubt. And the psychological benefits of this are more profound than the financial ones.
Right.
So I don't know if there's anything else we have to say except my nephew, who was there, got a job from one of the attendees who's actually here for one of his extended Superpower Accelerator Vision Days for the next 3 days. And
our son got a couple of little gigs out of it too. So
Zach's got, he's working doing AI. So
we're providing solutions while we're providing tools.
Right on. So are you going to come to the next one?
I am.
Yep. You'll see Vivian there as well. And I don't know if there's anything else I want to leave you with except we're giving you an additional $500 off coupon that's good until Friday. That again, I'll put that back on the screen. And at this point, I'll take any questions that you have and stick around. And I know you've got an appointment you've got to run.
I do. I have a doctor's appointment. Okay. I need to run to.
All right. I love you. Thank you for showing up.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
See you. All right, well, now is the time where I'm going to answer a few questions. But if you need help and you have any questions about like which one of these to pick, go to aiaccelerator.com/talk or mykoenigs.com/talk. And let me just answer a few of the questions that I know you have right now. So when and where? It's in Phoenix, Arizona at the Genius Network offices. Great space, great venue for this kind of work. There's hotels nearby, super easy to fly in and out of the Phoenix airport. And it's 10 minutes from the airport. Super awesome. Who should be there? Founders first. Okay, this is not a, hey, I'm going to just send my people there. We want you to bring your people there, either live or virtual, but founders need to be in the room because otherwise you're not going to make progress. This is a trust me, I've been there. All you'll do is create more confusion and overwhelm by just dictating, okay? It's made for decision makers and doers. And do I accept startups in here? I do. My preference is for businesses that have customers and business, or for founders who are reinventing themselves. They're the ideal target. We do have a virtual option, as you can see, and that includes pre-event screening. So just know that we've got you covered. In the room is the best because the hands-on, the Q&A, just the accidental meeting into people, having dinners. Remember back in the old days when we actually got to talk to real people? That's what this is for. It's what about. So what do you walk away with? You get playbooks, you get the prompts, stuff that you're going to get done while you're together because we give you ample time to actually workshop, do stuff, and learn from other people in the room. Stuff that it just doesn't happen virtually. It can, but it's always better in person. And then you get style guides, you get a roadmap for what to do next, and you walk away inspired. And the difference between the individual and the VIP plan. Individual is you and a +1 virtual. The VIP is you and a +1 in person. Plus there's extra networking and dinners and connections, and then you get 2 tickets for your virtual team. It's made for teams, okay? And you also get, you get into the room faster. There's front row access, stuff like that. Some extra bonuses, and you also get access to some additional tools that are well worth the investment. So we get this all the time. Well, what happens after the 2 days? And the answer is we not only give you the recordings of the event, but there's an option to work with us for 6 months in what we call our enterprise program. And that's where you and your teams get weekly trainings, hands-on, Q&A, step-by-step, implementation focused. And you get exposure not just to new tools, because we don't want to get into tool overwhelm mode and shiny object mode. It's actually getting stuff done that makes you money and increases the quality of your life. And who else is going to be there? It's going to be high value founders. These are people historically who are in groups like EO, YPO, Genius Network, Strategic Coach, Abundance 360. They're heavy duty business groups who are coachable. They look for community. I call them belongers. Guest speakers like Jeff Walker, Joe Polish, people who've been in business oftentimes for decades. And there are people there from 18 to 80. We actually topped out at 81 last time. Very engaged. And if you have a young person, maybe college age, and you want to inspire them, talk to Aaron. Book that conversation. Make sure it's a right fit. I don't want to say yes or no just to you without knowing a little bit more, but we had young people in the room who got motivated, inspired, and got jobs, including my own son and my nephew, which was awesome. And why should you invest in this now? Here's why, because you got 4 to 18 months until, if you aren't doing AI, someone else who's your competitor will be, and they are going to be eating your lunch. That much I promise you, we will have the I told you so conversation. And remember, you don't have to be technical. You just have to be engaged. Just show up and play full out. But if you want better team members, look, if in your business you're not engaging and using AI, your team members are going to go away to somewhere where they do get it, okay? Because this is a do or die moment in business, in my opinion. Again, I've been right for 40 years about what is happening next with technology. That is just a fact that you can verify. So lots of tools, lots of resources, getting started quickly. You walk out of there with direction, focus, clarity, a clear action plan, and stuff that's actually done. So what's your next step? It rhymes with schedule and book a call right now with Aaron to help you out. All right, so with that, let me show you this one more time, because this is the time to make up your mind. When's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the next best time? Right now. I would love to see you at the event, spend some time with you, help you grow your business, and make your biggest, best dreams come true with the help of AI and the kind of community you want to be in and around. So I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. As founder, entrepreneur, visionaries, we're in a constant state of trauma of not enough time, not enough money, not enough talent, not enough capabilities, not enough people. You can make it up and make it real faster than ever before and collapse time. And that's why we're going to see the first one-person billion-dollar company. It's going to be the visionary who implements fast.
Imagine it coaches you, your future self coaches you through your decisions every day. It's always aware of what you're doing. It knows who you want to be. We've already got the tech to do it, to be always on, always aware, and then give you proactive advice. I think we're going to have a really crazy world that we're living in.
Right now, creating content at scale And matching what your audience is actually wanting right now is critical, more critical than ever before. Pay close attention to the shift that's happening right now.
I believe right now we have about 18 to 36 months as business owners and founders to take advantage of AI and incorporate it both in our lives and our businesses, or you are going to be left behind.